What's up, guys? Mike Davis here in the den at FOX5 Studios. I am joined by a guy, one of the most recognizable faces, voices, people in our community, the great Mark Shunock. You know him from the Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders, top-ranked boxing, the space, so much great stuff, Mark. It's great to... I'm so excited to finally have you in here. I feel like it's been a long time coming.
Listen, I'm honored to be with you. We hang out with each other outside of work.
Yeah.
And, this is kind of neat because it's a professional setting. I'm in your world now, and really honored to have the opportunity. So thanks for having me on.
Of course. This is the week to definitely have... listen, we could have you on every week, and we really should. We got to probably talk a little Raiders, a little VGK, but let's really dive into the big news that happened this week, the Space 2.0. If you've been living under a rock, you don't know what's going on, but this is the big news of the week, everybody. A $50 million, a new haven for so many people in our community here in Las Vegas. It just was announced. It's going to be on the corner of Polaris and Harmon. That's the new thing you're trying to impress upon everybody. But here's the big deal. $50 million place. It's going to be 80,000 square feet, 5 stories. And I think you said it best, Mark, and I want you to educate our audience on that. 40 million people come to Las Vegas annually to just enjoy what Vegas has to offer. But what about the people who serve that 40 million? That's what this new place is going to be all about.
Listen, you should be my agent, first of all, because you tell the story just as well as I do. Listen, I've been in Vegas now for 14 years.
Yeah.
I came out as a Broadway performer with the show Rock of Ages.
Lonnie,
you were there. And what's great about this community is the entertainment community, the hospitality community, our first responder community. We all serve, right? Our whole mission is to go to the Strip nightly and make our visitors forget about their problems for a night, a weekend, an hour in a theater, sitting in a restaurant. That's our job in Vegas, and we do it better than anybody on the planet.
Yeah.
The mission of the space is simply to support those who serve. So you said it best. When 40 million people visit Las Vegas and they go home, who serves those who have served those visitors? And the space, which will be located on the corner of Polaris and Harmon, will be an 80,000 square foot facility dedicated to wellness and mental health for the following demographics. And this is very important for your listeners and viewers to understand. The space is a wellness and mental health facility serving those in hospitality, entertainment, our first responders, our veterans, and then we take it a step further and we even focus on our public education students in CCSD and their educators. So those demographics we found were vastly underserved in the wellness space.
Yeah.
When was the last time you walked into a restaurant and said to your server, "What can I get you? How are you today?" Right? So we want venue owners, theater owners, casino owners, people who employ our service industry to know that we are building a facility for your staff.
Right.
So we check a big box for them in the sense that, hey, back of house, there's a thing on the corkboard that says if you're not feeling good today, go to the space.
I love it. And let's just reiterate that again. So it's designed to support, because we already have the Space 1.0. And I've hosted many events there. It's a great venue, great place to be. But this is going to be a whole nother level. So this place is going to be designed to support entertainment professionals, first responders, veterans, educators, students. You're going to have mental health stuff, community services, nonprofits, arts and education stuff for CCSD students. And I think this is what's so special about this. As I was trying to prep and think about this interview and why you're the perfect guy for this mission, because I know you personally. You're a celebrity superstar here in Las Vegas. But here's the thing. You're so not like that when people really get to meet you. You're very kind and sweet to so many people. You've been doing Mondays Dark and you're being, giving back to this community for a long time. But I think the fact that you started as an entertainer at the Venetian, in that room where Voltaire is now, in a show, you really are the person to provide this space to the community, because you know what it's like. You've grown your name, and we should get into the story of how from just being an on-stage guy to becoming, a voice of VGK, to being on ESPN with Top Rank. You've really grown your name, your brand, and all that stuff, but you know what it's like to be in that service industry, to be an entertainer, to know that strife. And that's what Monday's Dark came from. It all emanated or originated from knowing what that feeling's like. So it's not like getting, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but getting an executive from a casino to come and be the person who's creating this vision because it wouldn't pack the same punch.
Listen, I appreciate that, man. That's the first time I've heard somebody say that. So
really?
Yeah, thank you.
That's the first time?
But I also want to
But don't you think that's true?
Yeah, but I want to take it back even further because, most in Vegas know me as the voice of the Golden Knights. And that's a fantastic role to have. And I cherish that. I've been working alongside that organization since it was the Vegas Wants Hockey Committee. So actually 10 years. We're in season 8. I helped bring the team here with that season ticket campaign. 14 years ago, I moved to Vegas. 14 years ago, 1 week ago, I was a waiter in downtown Los Angeles. And people have to understand that when I left home as a 19-year-old to pursue a career on Broadway in New York City, a life in the arts is not easy. And I spent a decade chasing a career in entertainment, which meant I was a bartender, I was a door guy at a nightclub, I waited tables. I've worked in hospitality 12, 13 years on and off in every facet, right? Like those positions that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And I got really good at subletting my apartment in New York because I would go do a play in Connecticut or one in Massachusetts or off Broadway. And then when the bigger shows finally hit, I almost felt obligated to give back. And when we got to Vegas with Rock of Ages, it was such a special community. And not just the entertainment community. The pit bosses, the dealers, the cocktail servers, the waitresses, the cleaning crew. By the time I got to my dressing room after parking my car at the Palazzo, I probably said hi to 30 or 40 employees, right? That's Vegas.
Right.
And that's when it dawned on me that entertainment and hospitality were like this. And we do an incredible job of making sure our visitors are cared for in a way that no other city, in my opinion, on the planet can do.
100%. But you walk the walk. Like, I just want to say, and I don't want to brag for you, but like, we were just judging like a bikini contest at Circa together. And, but honestly, like behind the scenes, like there were just people working for Stadium Swim giving us drinks and just helping us out because we volunteered our time. You're literally like out of the corner of my eye, you have like cash on you that you're actually making sure every single time a waiter or a server comes around just to give us a drink, like you're giving them like, and I saw that, and I think that speaks volumes to. First of all, I got to step my game up, everybody. I took a note of that, so I got to get to Mark's level on that. But you really are a generous guy like that, and I think it is important to know that you were a server, you worked in those fields, because you know what that's like. And Vegas really is the entertainment capital world. It's becoming like this. I want to know, because I read you were having conversations about this Space 2.0 with Commissioner Michael Naff like 5 years ago. So this has like been a vision long time in the making. 2028 is when it's looking like it's going to open Space 2.0. 2026 is when we're going to be breaking ground, early 2026. How early into your time here in Vegas did you see that there was a need for this? Like, how in the back of your mind, when did you start recognizing this? Because yes, New York, it's hard to make an impact in New York. It's where do you even start? You could just start with, rat infestation. There's so many problems to go to. Vegas, it's like, how did you come up with this need? Because people have been coming here for years. How did that first cross your mind?
Our community, our circle of friends, everybody that I associate with in Las Vegas is serving, right, in some capacity, whether they're involved in sports or entertainment, hospitality. It's all to provide a service for a customer, right? And so we're privileged to be able to peek behind the curtain a lot to see how things operate and move forward. And as somebody who, like I said, has held various positions and roles in all facets of hospitality and entertainment and sports primarily now over the last 10 years, I'm with these people every day. I'm a part of this community that is so special. And we have to just simply do a better job of making sure that you and I have a place to go and get help when we need it. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with financial literacy or your level of income or the job that you actually hold. It's simply about making sure that our community, the population that serves, has a place to go and get help when they need it. Plain and simple. I want to build a community center, that is for the community. Like, who would have thought that concept would be a little wackadoo, right? I want 95%, 100% of our community to be able to walk through our doors whenever they want. That's it. That's the mission. And we've taken it a step further where we've associated with, and I know you know this, the 7 organizations that are going to call the facility home have been in our community a lot longer than I have, providing the services. And all I'm doing is putting them on a pedestal and putting them in a state-of-the-art facility a block off the Strip. Yeah. That's it. And one in particular, it's near and dear to my heart, is actually coming to Vegas for the first time. The Entertainment Community Fund has been in our country for over 100 years, based in New York and Los Angeles. Their chair is Annette Benning. Annette was gracious enough to join us at our press conference this past Monday. She flew out because she understands the importance of the Entertainment Community Fund setting up shop for the first time in the history of their organization in Vegas. I do want to tell one story. Monday's Dark, you brought it up. Monday's Dark raises money for various nonprofits throughout the year. We write a check for $10,000 every other Monday night. During the pandemic, when everything shuttered, all the shows closed here. We didn't have a nonprofit focused on supporting the entertainment community like in New York, LA, Chicago. And so what I did is I just went on Facebook and did a Jerry Lewis type telethon. Right. We were streaming live and we raised $122,000 that evening. I didn't have a way to distribute it because Monday's Dark writes checks, unrestricted funds to causes. And we say, hey, Mike, we love the work you're doing. Here's $10K. Keep doing it. So I called the Entertainment Community Fund in Los Angeles and I said, do me a favor. I'm writing you a check for $122,000. Please distribute it. Promise me you will earmark this money to the entertainment community in Vegas. They said, Mark, no problem. Really? But just so you know, we don't have a presence in Vegas. We're not sure how people are going to find out about us. And the cool kids these days say, hold my beer. That's what I told them. I said, hold my beer, leave that to me. Monday's Dark talked about it on social. I talked about it on social. In 8 months, the Entertainment Community Fund distributed $1.2 million to people like you and me. Carpenters, hair and makeup, wardrobe, ushers, ticket takers, the people who work in these theaters on the Strip, night in and night out. We distributed $1.2 million. That's amazing. So I said to them, look, we have this opportunity to create a one-of-a-kind, unique facility a block off the Strip. We cannot call ourselves the entertainment capital of the world without the premier entertainment nonprofit based here in Vegas. Will you please move here and open an office and bring all of your services and programming? And they agreed. So a big hook to this building is that the Entertainment Community Fund is moving to Vegas for the first time. And high level entertainment professionals in Vegas have heard the news. They're excited. Some of them even called and said, hey, how the heck did you make this happen? We've wanted that organization here for a long time. And I said, well, I offered them a building for nothing. We're not charging these organizations rent that are going to call it home. We just want to provide a home for them to serve.
Amazing. And so they had a presence in New York, a presence in LA, but never Vegas. So why, Oscar-nominated actress Annette Bening, American Beauty, American President, Bugsy, all that stuff. Why is she invested in Vegas particularly?
She understands there's a need here that is gone on long enough that we haven't addressed. Wow. That's the same story on my end.
She just gets it.
She understands, and I think that the proof is in the pudding, as she said at our press conference. They didn't distribute $1.2 million because we don't have entertainment professionals working in Las Vegas that need our help. They need our help. They need these services. And so the entire organization is behind this, and they are so excited to have a presence here because our entertainment community is very unique. It's not like New York. It's not like Los Angeles. It is Las Vegas.
So walk us through an example. Let's do a real world example. Let's just say it's 2029. So the building's here. It's on the corner of Polaris and Harmon. We have the T-shirts. We're repping corner of Polaris and Harmon T-shirts. So let's just say, listen, Mark, I have the body of an aerialist in a Cirque show, clearly. Everybody knows that who watches me. So a 12-pack, something
Sure.
So let's just say, I'm stressed with all the stuff going on, being a cast member in Cirque or something like that, or I'm even just a carpenter who's participating in building these sets and stuff. You're saying I could then come to the Space 2.0 and let's just say I'm dealing with just the wear and tear of just the grind, right? What does that look like? I would step into the building and what are the resources, what are the things that just become tangible tools for me to really just enhance my life? Walk me through that.
Amazing question. So the space is going to house 7 organizations, one of which being the Entertainment Community Fund. They offer financial assistance, therapeutic offerings with their therapists, career transitioning programs, you name it. They have a laundry list of programs. Then we take it down a step. Locally, Community Counseling Center of Southern Nevada. They've been in our community for 35 years, providing assistance in the mental health space.
Right.
I can't sit here on your show and look you in the eye and say, I know how to solve our mental health crisis. I don't. But these 7 organizations, They do. They know what to do. Community Counseling Center of Southern Nevada, they're based here in Las Vegas. They've been on East Sahara across from the community, what's that complex over there where the Lotus of Siam, my favorite restaurants, the OG was there. So they're over there on East Sahara. All we're doing is offering them a second location on the corner of Polaris and Harmon, and we're going to put them on a pedestal. And they are doing the work of work.
But the pedestal is important because a lot of people they're not even aware of these services.
If you don't know that the service exists, to answer your question clearly, if you don't know that it's available, why? There's nothing to even answer.
And people,
so we want to just brag about the fact that this gorgeous building, a block off the strip, when people drive by it, they're going to go, what is that, a museum, a hospital, a nightclub? No, it's a place where people go and get help. So let me go through the list. There's the Entertainment Community Fund. There's Community Counseling Center of Southern Nevada. Our organization, Monday's Dark, is not going anywhere. Then we took it a step further with the first responders, Firefighter Behavioral Health Alliance. They go from station house to station house, making sure that the men and women who keep us safe are taken care of. The number one killer in the fire department is not fire, it's suicide. When people understand what our first responders, and will never understand, what our first responders see on a day-to-day basis, these men and women are heroes, and we need to do a better job for them. The next is Life by Music. Life by Music takes guitars and puts them in the hands of veterans dealing with PTSD, teaches them how to play the guitar, and it helps tremendously. The music program that Life by Music provides is ridiculous, and then they take it a step further, and they put guitars in hands of underserved children, kids who can't afford a guitar. We put a guitar in their hands. And what it does to that child is unbelievable. So you walk in the building, you're getting that programming. And then we partnered with, in my opinion, 2 incredible organizations in our community, the Core Academy, powered by the Rogers Foundation, and the Public Education Foundation. I'm done hearing people complain about our school district, right? If you want to complain publicly on your social media platform or in the news, you better be backing it up with some action, right? Do something about it. Complaining doesn't do anybody any good. We know that our school system needs help. So I went to the Core Academy and the Public Education Foundation. I said, you guys are doing incredible work in our community. Would a building like this serve you further? Their eyes lit up. They're like, are you kidding me, Mark? This building is going to have 10 mental health offices, which in my opinion isn't even enough because I think the line's going to be around the door. We're going to have 4 state-of-the-art multi-purpose rooms. So think of like an over-the-top yoga type room, right? Where it's multi-purpose. You can have a group session in there. You can have a class in there. You can have a kids program in there. We're going to have 4 state-of-the-art rooms like that. We're going to have event spaces like the space currently does to help offset our costs. We're going to have a small TV studio. We're going to have a podcast studio, corporate offices, and an incredible view of the Strip. You know, this building, like you said, it's 6 stories high, 4 floors of parking, self-contained. 5 and 6 are 40,000 square feet each, and they're all dedicated to serving the community.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable. Listen, I hate going anywhere in Vegas and having a problem parking.
Right.
So I said when we designed this building, there needs to be safety first and privacy second, right there. So you got to feel safe, and you got to understand that we're gonna be looking after you, and your privacy is very important to us. You don't want to go to a place to see a doctor or a therapist and not even feel good about going to that location, right? Like, if you don't feel good about yourself or there's something going on, the last thing you want to do is drive somewhere that might make you feel even worse.
It's true.
So now we're going to create something super special, super private, and every box is going to be checked, every I dotted, T crossed. Somebody said to me once when we were going through our initial meetings, they're like, Mark, you know, make sure you design it properly. And they even brought up POS systems with you know, and I was like, listen, man, this thing is going to be so designed to the T so that all of your needs are met in a way that are elevated and respected and provided that in a way that you're going to feel good about yourself coming here. That's the big thing. We need to end that stigma, right? Like, we're dudes. I don't want to go to the doctor, and I definitely don't want to talk to somebody. But it's okay. We need to change that stigma where it's like, it's okay to not be okay.
It sounds like it's going to be an oasis, truly, in our desert. But the thing is, 2 points that I want to make. One that I think is fascinating that I just know from telling the stories of so many people that work in entertainment and in the service industry here is the longevity of the career, right? So it's interesting that one of the things that piqued my interest when you mentioned it was just the career services component to this, because it's kind of like being an athlete, like the trajectory and the timeline of how long your career in the NFL is going to be. What is it? Under 3 years is the average. To, be an aerialist, how long can that career really serve you? So many people move to Vegas from, Romania or wherever they come from. They serve in a couple Cirque shows. They keep trying to make the career last as long as they can. And then some of those people do end up becoming part of the carpentry team. They teachers, whatever it is. So to have like a timeline where you can have career services come to Vegas as your new home, call it your home, serve the community, and then retrain yourself is a tremendous thing. Here's what I want to know, because there is something special and unique pertinent to you. Not every single person that is in this space, especially being a host and all that kind of stuff, have the energy, number one, and just the interest to be an entrepreneur and have that kind of bug to your spirit. How many people are going from Lonnie wearing, I love a boobies t-shirt kind of thing, to then really thinking about serving the community and thinking beyond themselves. So tell me a little bit about your background growing up and just how that you have a special and unique quality to yourself, because I don't think there's a lot of, it's so rare to have an entertainment special person who, typically people in that field are going to be a little self-interested, into themselves. It takes a lot to just get to that point where you can perform on Broadway. So what is it about you that just, you're unlike a lot of performers and entertainers, I think, in that sense, for you to put this at front and center and to say, hey, this is something we need. That's something that's been top of mind for me.
It starts at home, right?
Yeah.
My parents, beautiful people. Everybody loves their mom and dad.
Right.
No different here. My parents, 86 and 84 years old. I'm the youngest of 5. Our family was incredibly tight. We still talk every day. It started there. We were raised to make sure our neighbor was taken care of, plain and simple, and help where we could. I'm going to disagree a little bit on that. You think I'm a special form of entertainer or somebody in hospitality.
I do. Let's be real.
A little bit, sure.
A lot of entertainers we know, they're looking for their next gig. They're looking for the next residence.
No, that's fair.
They're not thinking about pushing it, paying it forward.
That is fair. But I do think that most that are in hospitality and the arts understand how difficult the career has been, right? And when you do achieve a certain level of success, it's almost programmed in our DNA by that point that it's our turn to turn around and help the person coming up behind you, right? We see those memes on Instagram with the iceberg, where you see the little tip of the iceberg coming out of the water, but really nobody sees all of the big iceberg under the water. And that's sort of an analogy that I put out there a lot publicly, because we sometimes hear the phrases Hollywood elite or, the superstar. We got to remember that you didn't just get out of bed and that happened, right? You didn't become a top lawyer, a top doctor, a top restaurateur overnight. You worked hard to get there. And the same thing applies in entertainment. You don't get to the top of the hill just by luck or by fluke. It took a lot of hard work and dedication. And usually when you get to the top of the hill, there's another one that needs to be climbed. And that's something that I carry with me daily. 14 years ago, I moved to Vegas. 14 years ago, a week ago, I was waiting tables. And I would have been content to continue down that path in hospitality as well. I want to make that clear. Our hospitality professionals are incredibly successful, driven men and women who go to work day in and day out to serve you. And I keep coming back to that because that's why we're here today talking about this. We're all here to provide a service, as you as well, as a host on television. You provide a service. Who's got your back at the end of the day, right? Where do you go when you feel like, that's it. It's as simple as that. So our mission over the next 16 months as we embark on this capital campaign is just to make sure people understand fully why we're doing this. We're doing it to make sure that our community has a place to go when they need it, because we can look at the numbers. The stats don't lie. You're a sports guy like I am. The numbers don't lie. We need to improve the services available to our community in mental health and wellness, plain and simple. And I just want to help in that space. No pun intended. We're going to build a beautiful facility, a block off the strip that is going to serve thousands of people in our community. And that's something that I'm incredibly proud of. I'm incredibly proud that I get to champion that project. And I'm so grateful for opportunities like this, because people look at something and they just assume it's done. It's not.
Right.
We need everybody in Las Vegas to support this. I've raised millions of dollars for our community with an all-volunteer organization. I'm leading this charge, and we're all volunteers. Nobody's getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that people understand that whether you have $1 in spare change in your car or $1 million in the bank, I want it.
Well, tell us where we can be a part of this, because there's already some great backers and people that are involved. UFC's Dana White. We know Annette Bening. We know Nick Carter with the Backstreet Boys. There's a lot of great people. Lou Ruvo, Brad Garrett. So there's going to be Larry Ruvo, I should say. A lot of people that are going to be a part of this. So if somebody's watching this right now and they're saying, I want to give $10, where can they go? How does this work?
Easy. TheSpaceLV.com. It's TheSpaceLV.com. And I'm looking at the camera because I need this message to come across. I have helped raise millions of dollars for our city by people chipping in $1, $5, $10, $50. No amount is too small for this cause. And this cause is near and dear to my heart, because you can't walk out your front door of your home or your apartment and turn a corner without running into somebody who comes to the strip day in and day out and provides a service. That's who we're doing this for. We've identified about 20 naming opportunities in the facility for our big corporate partners.
Yeah.
We have naming opportunities from $250,000 all the way up to $20 million.
Wow.
100,000 cars a day are going to drive by this corner. We've all driven this corner. You split the Aria and the Cosmopolitan, you're heading west on Harmon, and you go up over that beautiful new pass. That's our corner. That's an incredible pocket. We're so proud of the partnership with the county. Listen, they gave us an acre and a half on the corner of Polaris and Harmon to build this. It's a great chunk, but it also shows you the belief that the county has in the project, and that they understand the need for something like this.
And it speaks volumes to where we're going as a city, because I think the thing is, when you moved here, listen, Vegas, it's in a funky spot because it has this globally recognized name that everybody knows Vegas, and they associate fun and visiting and all this kind of stuff. But over the years, we've seen with 1 October, we've seen with the growth of sports franchises, there is a huge community here. There is a local population that really needs something like this. So it's kind of, in a weird way, when this announcement came to be, in a lot of ways, in other cities, this would already be represented in something that is being consumed on a very regular basis. So there's like, it's a brilliant idea because it's already been needed, and we've needed this for a long time. And I just think we're still making strides as a city to have these types of services in these places as we're growing and becoming a haven for people departing from LA and from, all these different places in Arizona. This is part of the prerequisite, the benchmark, the standard of what you need to keep growing as a city. And I think it's a special thing. And you've probably seen how Vegas has grown more so than most people. You've seen
I've been blessed to be a part of some cool projects, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, and I've said this a lot in talking about this project, Vegas has the best resorts, the best restaurants, the best shows, and now the best sports teams. And like you just said, we are growing tremendously. But what makes those things the best? The people who run them, the people who make them go. Our service industry, again, hospitality, entertainment, first responders, the men and women who go to the strip night in and night out, they carry this city on their backs. And we need to do a better job of looking after them. Yeah. Plain and simple. And so, I am calling out a lot of our major organizations in town to support this, to back this. We need them to support it. Otherwise, it won't happen. Plain and simple. We know that.
I mean, thespacelv.com, $10, $2, whatever it is, it's great. So here's a question for you. Somebody watching this interview right now, I would love for you to not put somebody in their place, but let's just say somebody's watching right now and they're saying, oh, this sounds like an amazing initiative, but it's not for me. You know, it's not going to, it sounds like it would serve so many people. Who's somebody at home who's on the fence saying like, is this a place that I could actually go to and help me? Get them off the fence and explain to them why this would help them.
Yeah, so the way the space has operated, the current facility for the last 8 years, we don't brag about the programming, right? The space has become known as a facility that hosts concerts, birthday parties, bat mitzvahs, fashion shows, weddings, you name it. And we put that at the forefront publicly. But what we don't talk about behind the scenes is the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, the Alzheimer's support group meetings, veterans learning how to play music, kids classes. What we're doing with the new facility is we're flipping the narrative and we're bringing in more nonprofits to provide services. So right away, we're going to just put programming and services at the forefront.
Gotcha.
If somebody is not in hospitality, entertainment, a first responder, a veteran, a teacher, or a student in our public education system, that's okay. There will be things for you that you can enjoy at the space, whether it's a concert that's going to be open to the public, because buying a ticket to that event is going to help our programming. The way the building and the business is designed is that it's a self-sustained facility. Once we build it and we raise the capital to build it, the infrastructure and the way the business model is set up, everything that happens in the building just goes back into the building. But to get very specific about somebody being on the fence saying, well, that's great, but I'm into supporting animal rescues or cancer research, which is amazing, right? Monday's Dark, we write a check for $10K, like I mentioned, to every cause under the sun every other week.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that you don't know somebody who works in hospitality or entertainment or is a first responder.
Impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Vegas exists because of the Strip.
Yeah.
Right? The hundreds of thousands, I don't even know how many people work on the Strip. That's a great number to learn. But there are thousands of men and women who go to the Strip night in and night out and bust their ass and put a smile on their face. We take for granted, I do, I know I do, that you can walk into a building on the Strip 24/7, 7 days a week, and you are greeted by somebody with a smile, and the first things out of their mouth are, hey, how are you? What can I get you? That is an incredibly special person in my book. That takes a toll on somebody when you have to go to the Strip 6, 7 days a week and put that smile on and serve somebody.
Yeah.
That person deserves a hug and a pat on the back more so than others, in my opinion, because what they are doing is incredibly valuable to our community, first and foremost. Like I said, our city doesn't exist without them. And we just need to do a better job of taking care of them.
Well, listen, Mark Shunock, he's the perfect representative, the perfect ambassador for this great city that we love. You know him, you love him, and now he's taking our local community to such the next level, the place that we need to be as a community. We got to look out for this place. So right now, early 2026 is when ground is going to be breaking. Opening 2028 is when we're hoping this is all going to happen. You got to go to thespacelv.com. Whatever you got, donate, help be a part of this. You want to be a part of this because when you're rocking the corner of Polaris and Harmon beanie or sweatshirt or whatever, hoodie, whatever you got, you want to feel like you're a part of this great movement. And it's taken so long to even just get here. And it's a beautiful thing that, this was an idea you've been discussing and speaking about for so many years. I remember kind of when you told me a little bit about it at one point. Is there going to be a Tim Hortons something with this?
Listen, I've talked to Tim Hortons. I think we're long overdue that we need a little Canadian coffee company in Las
come on.
Vegas.
We're already a hockey city. We kind of need the Tim Hortons, something like that. Listen, we got to have you back here to talk VGK and all that kind of stuff. But
Please.
Any last things? You told us so much. Anything we need to know more about the Space 2.0? Anything you want to tell our community? You could just say it right to the camera.
You wrapped it up beautifully. Listen, I love Las Vegas. It has been my home, my family, and I love it here. We're not going anywhere. And if you're watching and you think you don't have the resources to help, you can help in other ways. We always need volunteers. The change in your car, I'm not kidding, will go a long way to supporting this. And to our business leaders and C-suite executives, you're going to hear from me. I want to hear from you. Together we can make this happen. It's a building for your employees, plain and simple. And I'm passionate about it, as you can tell. I want to make it happen. We have a very special community here in Las Vegas, and I just want to help champion in a way that we can support each other as we move along.
Think about it like athletics. It's like if the Raiders or the Golden Knights have the beautiful facilities and the professionals that are assisting the team and the athletes on and off the ice or on and off the field, if we're doing that for our service people, imagine how much better the service is going to be. Imagine
great
how much.
Point, dude. I've never said that before. That is a great point. I'm keeping that in the memory here.
It's really like that. Just credit me when you say it, but it's exactly like that. I mean, if the Venetian or the Wynn or all these places are thinking, how can we make sure our staff is being treated in the best way physically, mentally, all that kind of stuff. Just think about how much better that service is going to be. The experience for people who come here, it's a no-brainer.
It's funny you mentioned it, because one last thing, UFC has already stepped up to support us.
Yes, incredible
organization. Brian Smith, who heads their philanthropic department, this guy is a rock star. He said to me, hey, look, can we convert one of your classrooms into a gym? And I was like, well, I'm not going to put punching bags in an octagon. And he goes, no, wellness. So think walking into a Zen, multi-purpose room that is designed for wellness. Think of all the instructors, all of the artists that can now come. And again, programming is not going to be an issue.
No.
But the fact that our donors are already thinking about exactly what you just said is just so special to me.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we have Infusion Care already stepped up, Finley Automotive, UFC, Borden Industries. Borden Industries committed $1 million to the project.
Yeah, we love Mike.
Like, unbelievable. So we know that the word is going to start getting out. I'm making myself available to anybody who wants to meet at any time so that they can understand the process here and how we're moving the project along. And these naming opportunities are some of them are for life. So, a $250,000 contribution, your name is on a room for the life of the building. We have some termed naming opportunities as well. Listen, we're not Allegiant Stadium. We're never going to have a Super Bowl, but we're going to have the Super Bowl of wellness in Las Vegas. And like I mentioned, 100 to 150,000 cars a day drive by that corner. So there's no reason why it can't say the space powered by Mike Davis.
Okay, I love it. I think James Edward Barrickman IV, my producer, is going to get on that right now. So remember, everybody at home, thespacelv.com, change in your car, whatever you got, make sure you contribute to this great initiative and the Space 2.0, because you're going to want to be a part of this. And I think this is really setting the tone for the next phase of what our city can be and the people that make this beautiful city run. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Shunock. Thank you for doing so much listen, you did everything you brought to the character of Lonnie. The impact was here. Like, it's probably a pretty good. I never got to see you, but I'm sure the impact was pretty great. But this is what you're doing here. You're a wonderful man. Your parents would be very proud. I know they are. And thank you for everything you do for the city of Las Vegas. We love you. And thespacelv.com. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on.